Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily Dizzle for Thursday, February 10th, 2011. It's Tommy Dizzlemits here, as always, trying to get back on the regular schedule. We got a few movie news points to get to, and then earth-shattering news for anyone who has ever enjoyed playing a fake instrument video game. So let's get to it. We'll adapt the 5 bullet points for tonight, because it's usually good for our trying to be quick updates, while also getting across a lot of good info. So, number 1. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. You can expect to see them on film again together. Of course, the duo that is responsible for Good Will Hunting also has popped up together in a bunch of Kevin Smith movies. That is where you can expect to see him again. Kevin Smith, at this point, he's been working on a hockey-based movie, Hit Somebody, which he had been trying to get going for a while. I know at one point he wanted Sean William Scott involved. Because it didn't move for a while, he ended up going on to other project that was hockey-based. But at this point, he apparently did an interview with MTV News, and he said it might be his last movie. Granted, he has a tendency to say that kind of stuff like, the last Jay and Silent Bob, or, a Schooniverse movie, or, this is the last Jersey-related movie. And I think he might just be getting a little pissed off at the fact that his horror movie that he's been trying to get going for so long that he finally finished isn't getting the best reviews, but that's what happens when you make a horror movie. They're just not going to get good reviews. So at this point, I think he might be saying, it's his last movie, just to kind of drum up a little bit more interest. But you can expect a lot of the Kevin Smith gang to pop up, even if it's cameos, and that is what he says you can expect to see them. I mean, if it's going to be a hockey movie and you're going to have some Boston hockey players, I guess you could do worse than having Matt Damon and Ben Affleck pop up in that role. Number 2, Christian Bale is going to be getting skinny again very soon. Anyone who's seen any of his movies can notice a pattern between alternating flicks. Once you'll see him in Batman, where he's huge, at least, a guy that you wouldn't want to run into in an alleyway. And then you'll see him in The Machinist, where you look like you break him over your knee. And then you'll see him in The Terminator, where he's John Connor, leader of the Resistance. And then you'll see him in Rescue Dawn, where he's skinny again, and then you see him in The Dark Knight, where he's not skinny again, and then you see him in The Fighter, where he's skinny again, and then you see him in the next Batman, where he's not skinny again, and then you'll see him in Concrete Island, where he will be skinny again. I don't know if, this dude has found some awesome natural high off of weight gain and weight loss, but someone has got to look into it. No one would, seemingly really schedule these movies like that to be... you'd at least be smart and be like, schedule your 2 skinny movies together, or schedule your Terminator and Batman back to back. You don't do one movie, then switch to the other, then switch back, unless you are really trying to fuck with your own head, which maybe that explains the Terminator rant at this point. But at least we know that we get to see the human ping pong game that is Christian Bale's weight in movies for the next couple of years, so that'll be very entertaining to see. Number 3, anyone who's a Nathan Fillion fan that was very, very upset that he did not get the Green Lantern role, fret not, he is still going to be playing the character. Granted, it's going to be in one of the DC Comics animated direct-to-video movies that they put out right before they released the actual movie in theaters. But still, anyone who was like, I want him to be the Green Lantern, you got your wish. Number 4, now that Jon Favreau is not going to be returning for Iron Man 3, it's a question of who will take over. Apparently, there might be a very experienced director in line, though, as Shane Black is lined up to do that. He is responsible for the Lethal Weapon movies, Long Kiss Goodnight, The Last Boy Scout, even though those last ones weren't as heard of as much as the Lethal Weapon movies. Still, he's a guy who knows the action movies and action genre very well, and made plenty of successful ones. On top of that, he has also previously teamed with Robert Downey Jr. in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which came out years ago. Wasn't overly noticed one way or another, except for the fact that it was almost the start of Robert Downey Jr.'s current comeback that he has been riding ever since before Iron Man. So the dude who's single-handedly responsible for getting Robert Downey Jr. on the track for his comeback is going to be taking over the movie that made Robert Downey Jr. the biggest star in Hollywood at the moment. I don't think there's going to be anything wrong with that. And now in earth-shattering news for anyone who's under 20 years old, who's always wanted to be famous and play on stage and never really wanted to actually learn how to play the instrument, so they go out and they buy the latest Guitar Hero game. You don't have that option anymore, as the Guitar Hero, DJ Hero, and Band Hero franchises have now been disbanded. Apparently the double-digit percentage declines in the musical game genre, which you can attribute to the fact that there's probably a triple-digit increase in the amount of musical games that come out nowadays. On top of that, because of the considerable licensing fees that companies are now starting to charge for using their music on those games, because they're seeing how much interest there are in them, that just has created the perfect storm of no more Guitar Hero. Kids are actually going to have to go pick up instruments and learn how to play for themselves. What a sad, sad day for the technology-based generation. So yeah, that's all the news we've got for today's Daily Dizzle. We do thank you guys for joining us here as always. Tomorrow's Daily Dizzle, we will have a look at the weekend box office. Of course, Valentine's Day tends to be a busy time at the box office in general. This year, they're hoping for an especially busy weekend, hoping to bounce back from the 20-year attendance low that was just hit for this past month. And on top of that, you're throwing out a couple kids' movies to keep the kids busy going into the holiday. And then you have some pictures that are guaranteed to perform for the date movie crowd. So we will have a full breakdown of that on top of the latest movie news and anything else we can bring up for you. So as always, for the Daily Dizzle, it is Tommy Dizzlemits. We thank you guys for joining us, and we hope to see you again tomorrow, as always.